Okay, we're at the southwest corner of the property. This is the gas meter. The pot is supposed to be a minimum of 6 inches above the ground. Okay, coming along here, this is the fence going to the swimming pool area, and this fence was installed inside out. Okay, these exposed rails should be on the inside of the fence to keep kids or mentally challenged adults from using these rails as a ladder to get over into the swimming pool area. Okay, this retaining wall is in the alley and on the west side, and it's farther than twice the distance from the swimming pool, so in theory it shouldn't affect the swimming pools. More than twice the distance to the house, so in theory it shouldn't affect the house. But here it is, and these are called dead men, and so apparently dead men have been installed, but the dead men they're rotting out. Tiebacks, sometimes they're called tiebacks. Okay, railroad ties last about 14 years. They're coming on along here towards the driveway, and the condition of the retaining wall, the railroad tie retaining wall, the condition keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Okay, so it's just a matter of time, but there's going to be some budgeting necessary here. Okay, electricity. I'm going to have some fun trying to find that service panel in that garage you'll see later. But this is the electric service panel. Excuse me, that's the electric meter. It's below grade. Okay. Grounding rod's not properly buried, and we only have a single grounding rod. Okay, which was okay during the day. But by today's standards, you have 2 grounding rods. And either way, they should be buried. In this box, the meter box, they should be sealed around the sides. Okay. The garage door casement, it's in direct contact with the cement. So capillary action, water comes up in here, it can rot that. Going along, cracking and peeling paint, cracking and peeling paint, cracking and peeling paint. Alright, coming along here, you see the rain gutters hanging off the side of the house. All the rain gutters are pretty bad shape. That's called a cornice, that architectural detail to the soffit, and it's rotting. It's in bad shape. Okay, these windows, fenestrations, even the garage. Okay, a Z-bar flashing should have been installed so that it shed water, any water that gets behind the plane there. They didn't do that back in the day, as you can see. Alright, metal panel overhead doors. There's a little hail damage. Right there. This is a smaller door here. It's buckled. See that damage there? It's buckled. And they've done some, because of the casement's too close to the cement and it's been rotten. They went in and put another piece right next to it. Just keep doing the same thing over and over. Coming along here, got a diving board. Okay, that's called a clue. We know that swimming pool's deep. These electric service disconnects, okay, they shouldn't be behind the condensing units. That's not where they belong. And they should be sealed, like the meter. I'm gonna get some still images of these later. Alright. Insulation's missing on the refrigerant line going there. We don't have anti-theft straighter valves. This old foam, okay, that's no longer acceptable. It should be rigid. Looks like we got 3 units. What are we looking here? Okay, we've got an alternative refrigerant. An alternative refrigerant has been installed in this. Because in the day, it was R22. And that's quickly becoming obsolete. The problem with the alternative refrigerants is they're not as efficient as the R22, and they're not as efficient as the 410. It's a stopgap. It'll get by, it'll cool your house, but that is less than optimum. They chose to do this rather than to replace the system because the unit was in 2004. Alright, 42, 4 tons. Interesting. Come over to this one. Okay, this one's still R22. R22, still R22. This one needed to work, and they made the choice, and that one's not level. This one hasn't needed work yet. It's time to budget for replacement. And honestly, I would, that works, or should work. Maybe we'll find out. But I'd feel better if at my home, I'm going to feel better when it comes time to replace it to R22. 410A. Okay, rain gutter. All this rain gutter's in pretty bad shape. Alright. This comes on down. This is the vent for the kitchen. The louvered vent for the kitchen. I'm not sure what this louvered vent's for, but we're looking for a water heater. Okay. This is the discharge drain line for the water heater. I don't see one for a safety pan. And it's higher from the ground than 6 inches. It shouldn't be any further from the ground than 6 inches. And we come along here on this foundation perimeter, right in here. You see all that black mastic? Okay. Water issues have been here. Somebody's been addressing a water problem on this part of the yard. There's been a history. Nobody just decides to say, one day I want to add some mastic. Doesn't work like that. Sprinkler head's closer than 12 inches to the structure. Coming along here. We've also had some termite treatment here. This is advanced system. Hang on. Part of the reason these things work, one of the reasons is the ants feed here and they travel with pheromones. And not ants, termites. And they travel with pheromones. So then other termites show up to get some poison. And kind of like a trap. But if these go old and they're not serviced, the pheromones stay in the ground. And the termites, they still think that there's food here. And if they don't get food here, well, they're already here. They're already here, so they might as well go over there and get some food. We've got negative drainage, well actually positive drainage going in that direction. We've got surface drains here. And they haven't been serviced in a while, but there they are. Drop you again. What's the charge for the ride? Okay, the glazing strips on these windows. This one's not so bad, but they're not. There's a lot of them that are worse. A lot of them that are worse. We have weep holes. I haven't seen a control joint. So far, I haven't seen a control joint. The weather sensor. We already talked about that on the roof. And again, it's for the lawn sprinkler system, and I'm not sure that that's properly positioned. Okay. Coming along. Right up there. We didn't do this in the roof section. But where the rain gutter fell, it's pulled all the drip edge flashing loose. Okay. I don't know if you can see that right there. Maybe this is a good idea. Right there. Your edge flashing, rake edge, drip edge. The manufacturer says it's supposed to be lapped 10 inches. And if it had been like 2 inches, it might not have pulled off so bad. You don't know. Okay? That little port right there in the soffit. Where are you? Come on. That little port in the soffit right in there. That's your overflow drain for your air conditioner. You got some distorted screens up here. And some of these screens are showing signs of the wear. They could be in better shape, that's for sure. Okay, moving on along. This is old school vacuum break. Hello guy, you alive? You hibernating? Did you make it? I don't know if you made it or not. Okay. It's got a vacuum breaker on it. It's old school, like I said. And so am I. I still work. Coming on along. Not seeing a lot of movement, signs of movement on the brick exterior, and I'm not seeing any control expansion joints either. You usually see one or the other. There's been some soffit repair right here. This is the dining room windows. East. Well, on the north side, we got some soffit repair right in there. Coming along. High soil, high soil, high soil. Alright. Trees too close. You've already seen that rain gutter. One nasty pimple. Okay. Here we are. Bushes close to the house. Negative drainage towards the house. Coming along, cracking and peeling paint over these windows. High soil. Is that high soil? Let's get in here. It's just hard to see, huh? That's cement. This is, ought to be high soil, but can't say it is. Moving on along. Cracking and peeling paint on the fascia right in here. Okay, that freeze board right up there. See how that guy's just spinning off. Alright. And then you can see it better from the roof, but there's a gap. There's a pretty big gap up there. Moving along. Doorbell doesn't work. I may test the GFCIs on these, but the condition of the garage, I'm afraid to do that at this point. Doorbell doesn't work, like I said. Okay, the siding. Okay, there should be a screed underneath there. A gap, if you will, so the water doesn't wick up off of the patio cover into the house. I'm looking for signs of the treatment. Okay. Because this is open like this, you should have an in-use cover here. Kind of looks like a little football helmet, bubble cover, call it what you will. But you can get a better look at that freeze board that was coming loose. There it is. We spent enough time on him, I think. Moving on along here. Okay, this is the other water heater. So we've got at least 2 water heaters. This is more termite bait treatments. Okay, that's about 6 inches from the ground. There's not a safety pan. It's about 6 inches from the ground. And here, I would expect this to be the water shutoff valve for the house. There's a clean out right there. What are we doing here? There's a clean out right there. Now, I can see some PVC under here, but I can't really see the water shutoff valve. This is the front faucet. This is old school. He's going to leak around here. He's going to leak around here. Earlier I was getting 50 psi, but then I turned this off. Now it's like 55 psi. And when I turned it off, it really didn't reset. Now it's reset. Let's see what you do now. That's 50 psi. Gotta know your equipment, huh? Excuse me. I'm gonna go out to the street here for a moment. See all those nice little cones. Okay, this is the check valve for the lawn sprinkler system. Alright, it's buried, handles are rusty. Probably doesn't have a main shutoff valve. Supposed to service those once a year. And there's supposed to be enough clearance underneath that thing so you can wrap your hands around it and work on it. And the floor is supposed to be covered with gravel. That's what's supposed to happen. This is your water meter. It's in the sidewalk. Alright. This will be your shutoff valve if you can't find another one. Right there. Okay, right in here. See that little bitty. Here's your dial face. See that little sprocket? That's your flow indicator. Some people call them cheater wheels, cheater paddles. If that's moving, then you got water coming into the house, fresh water coming into the house. You got a leak somewhere, and if it's someplace you can't see, you still got one. Go look for it. Our tools up a little bit here. Alright. Got all my, yeah. Okay. And from this angle, perspective. Okay, that vertical trim board coming off of that freeze board up there. It's loose as a goose. Trees too close. Trees shouldn't be closer than 25 feet to a slab foundation structure. It's interesting. That's what I learned. That's what they taught me. When I got into this 24 years ago, they used to say 20 feet, so I guess we're erring on this. Okay, over here, this is disconnect. It's behind the unit. And all of these units, all three units so far, okay, they're too close to the walls. Alright. This is R22 again. So all three of these systems are pretty old. Okay, this is swimming pool equipment. Diving board spring. Deep pool. Okay. Got a DE filter. There's no pressure on it. Actually, it's got some pressure. I guess it's a back pressure. Alright. It's supposed to be elevated off the ground. Alright. Handles are labeled. That's a good thing. We've got a heater. That's a good thing. Electronic ignition. Electronic controls. We got documentation. Apparently it's been serviced. We're going to operate this thing in another day or so. Conduit's loose. Okay. Bonding. I'm not seeing any bonding. There it is. Find it? Is it visible? Okay. We'll get the data plates on that. And on the condensing units as well. The knob holding the cover is missing. Alright. This has no spring chicken. We do not have a sediment trap. So gas line coming into it. Alright. You get all these pavement stones laid out like this. Okay, they're convenient. They're trip hazards. We come over here, we got some soffit damage, we got some fascia damage. Okay, we're on the west side of the house, south side of the house. Moving on along. Again, in-use cover. We should have in-use covers here. See the way this is up? That's not watertight. Weather tight. Got another clean out for the sewer here. The screens, like I said, oh, this is great. Look at that. All the glazing strips are, not all of them, like I said. A lot of the glazing strips are in really bad shape. That's another overflow drain right there. Light fixture should be sealed. Lovely pattern. Spa's too close. Too close. And then we should have, again, the gap right in here. These doors should be self-closing. There should be a unique alarm for these doors. Okay. This goes back to this corner. There's really not where I'm standing. Northeast corner of this patio. There's really not a drain provision for the splash that's coming from your spa here. These switches are too close to the spa. Your siding's in pretty bad shape. Getting peeling paint. Over here, south side of the garage. Okay, there's your vacuum breaker for your swimming pool. Okay, your main drain. Got another faucet over here, and gas enters the house on the south side of the garage, right in here. That's your main shutoff. And then you got the feeder right there on the right that most likely goes to the swimming pool heater. Moving on along, we got some cracks in the apron. These plastic skimmer caps. Okay, they're good for a couple, 3 years. Then you just step on them and they break and you break your ankle. So these should be replaced. Okay, I can tell that the skimmer's got a weir trap. Weir traps are optional. A lot of people don't like them because they're entrapment. Okay, you got a weir trap, that trap right in here. You get a kid, his arm's inside of here, and then now his arm is higher than his head, and he's being forced down into the water. I say he. Okay, we got a single drain. Now they worked on this. They worked on this by I don't even know if that's coming in the picture. This got a anti-vacuum. It's been modified for entrapment purposes, and I'm going to look that up when I get home. I've got a chart. Some of them are approved and some of them aren't, just because they tried. At one time it might have been approved, and then they learned. Okay, the mastic sealer around the pool. So far, what I'm seeing is pretty good. The pool looks like it's pretty level. I've got a tape measure in my pocket, so we'll know more about that here shortly. Coming along the surface of the pool, okay, we got some broken coping tiles right in here. Alright. The surface itself looks pretty good. I want to feel it. I don't feel it. It almost looks too good. Okay. These floating chlorinators, they come out when people go in. They're an attractive nuisance. You get your young boys, that's really what all happens here. You get your young boys and they're playing with that flying saucer, and they're holding it up over their head while it drains water onto their face and their eyes, and it's got chlorine in it. That's bad news. Bad news. We got some repairs over here. We got some cracking. A little bit of cracking on the coping tiles right in here. Okay, I'm going to stop and take some still images now. Over there, you got a little bit of cornice damage again. And then over here is a better angle. We were there earlier part of this wonderful epic video, but you can see the soffit damage a little better over here, right in there.